Hey, get on in here. I want to go over a little project. If you listen real close, you probably hear an engine running in the background. He say it runs hot and shuts off. He's hit every stump back there, and he's an hour in, and he ain't shut off yet. So we're gonna build a pressure washer today. We'll wait for him to die. I've been wanting to do a little pressure washer build for y'all, and I can't think of a more basic or simple build than a direct drive unit. I got a base plate, an engine, power source, and I got a good little low pump. Let's couple it up. You'd think a fella'd start here. They ain't. I'm gonna start with that. Before I mount that engine up, is I wanna go on and prep that engine so that he can change oil on it easily in the future. So let's get this plug out and get it swapped over to my cool little old drain tube I'm so fond of. I found it always a smart idea to prop that little bugger up at a bit of an angle, or else you will be cleaning up a little bit of a mess sometimes because there's a little bit of oil left down in there. When you take these plug out, there's a little washer right here. Save that washer. That's my sealing washer for my adapter. I think that's 10 millimeter by that end's quarter. I like to hit it with a little bit of that red stickum, that red Loctite. It's just a little bit on there. Now this adapter is brass, so when you run it down, you really don't want to use a wrench like this big. You will snap that off. You just want to pull it down until you feel it seat. Now some of these are steel, and I'll caution you on those also. Not to tighten them down so much that you strip out your plug for your doggone block. Same thing here. I want to put a little red sealant. And when I'm done, I want my hose to face this way. Now there ain't no way in the devil world I'm gonna twist that around because I know that's already snug. I want to hold it still. I'm telling you, these little brass fittings will twist off for you. Ask me how I know. Hey, just line it up till you're happy. I'm gonna give mine a little twist. Get that downhill action going. That's what I'm talking about. Man, oh man. Now that I got me a nice little whip drain hose there, let's get it up on that plate. All right, now that you got your oil drained the way you want it, you got your mounting plate. Next thing you need is a stump. You get you a stump slid up onto here. Because otherwise, how you gonna get under here to fix these bolts? Let's throw this motor up here. I'm gonna pick it up, set it down. I don't want to slide around, scratch up my pretty plate. Close enough. Let's get some bolts. So if you're looking at doing a project like this, this is the hardware you're gonna need to mount that engine to that plate. Stainless steel hardware, 5/16 by 1.5 inch long bolts, what I'm using here today. And I got 4 lot washers, we'll get back to that. 4 nuts, and of course 8 stainless steel washers. Here's the thing, I really don't care for this. I'd much rather have my washers and have a nylock nut, but got a boo-boo. But this is perfectly fine. That's what I'm using today. Normally I'd pull this thing over where I can get to it, but it's kind of hard to do that and let you see with the camera too. So let's get us a bolt up in there. I like a Nice little flat washer. Lot washer, and then get this nut going. And we're gonna leave that loose. Let's get one in on the other side. All right, I got me another hardware set here. Bolt washer. And let's just, same series, get you a little flat washer on there. In this case, I'm using a lot washer and a nut. I'd like a Nylock right there. I ain't gonna say it again, but that's what I got. We're gonna finish them up. Get my head in the shot. Woo! Last one to go, Jackrabbit. Then we can salvage it down. That's tighten it up in other people's terms, but done got a little cool out here. I had to put me a sweater on now. What's going on there? Might be blood might be running just a bit cool these days. Yes, sir. I believe that's what's going on. Yeah, that's what I'd say. All right, get your hand back. I'm just gonna center it up on the plate a little bit. All I wanna do is make sure that this don't hang over where it could be ever knocked off, broken, lose all my oil at one time. And I'm happy with that flush there. With it, my pump, I think I'm gonna be happy with it right there. Pump location's everything. Just tighten this up, boys. Look, it ain't rocket science, righty-tighty. That'll get you there. And we're just gonna do this with the tools that everybody should have. A little ratchet, end wrench. Well, not that you should have, but if you're gonna do this kind of stuff, I would hope you have it. So, that being said, I don't want to see you doing this, no needle nose pliers and a crescent wrench. I'm happy with that. Let's move on to the next part. Done scratch my doggone it. I ain't joking around. First job I done on it, look, I done gouged it. We're only 4 bolts away. There she is. She loaded up on that frame. Looks pretty good sitting up there. We'll just kind of do a once around, just maybe twice, maybe. And I like the way the oil drain works out on that. So let's get something mounted up on the end of that crankshaft. Let me show you what I got. This is what I want to put on here. This is a good match for that power plant. And doggone it, just gonna make a pretty little old unit, ain't it? Hey, this is what I'm building. And then listen, I'm gonna show you another option. If you've got a washer with an engine of a similar platform and you pull that pump looking to replace it, then right there. This is a great option if you're for a homeowner trying to do a little pump repair, a little pump swap out. This little, what's the number on this pump? This is that 30436 from Mighty M. It's a great little swap out. Back to my project. I always want to start right here, keyway. First thing I always want to do is I want to clock my keyway. I want that thing at 12 o'clock. Makes it a whole lot easier for me. And let me go on and do that, and then I'll show you on this particular application why. I wanted to close top dead center as I can get it. And you see this zip tie on this good quality engine comes with a doggone keyway. I don't trust them little old keyways from the hardware store. I don't know what it is about it. They seem to have a bit of a rock to it. Even a brand new crankshaft, that keyway. I don't know why, probably wrong. Probably made all this up. I want that one. At this point, you might think we're ready to just stick the pump on here, but we're not. Hey, I want to prep that crankshaft right there because, you know, things rust, things seize together. I kind of want to do a little something to try and prevent that. That being said, I'm going to show you how to mark this. I take a little bit of grease shaft, I don't know, to end somewhere around here. I put me a little dab of grease on there. And with that little old bitty dab of grease up there, if you want to be, oh, you know the word, kind of like what I'm doing right now, you can. I ain't gonna fault you for it, but that's my location right there. This is my opinion on it. Crankshaft, oh, anti-seize. That's what they tell you. Put that anti-seize on there, stop. When it's spinning at 3,600 RPMs, anti-seize ain't staying on there. It's coming off. I definitely suggest putting it on. Don't expect it to stay. But I kind of do a combination there. And I'm gonna show you why. Once them two components marry up, they're a devil to get off of there. So I like to mark that crankshaft, and that's what we done. And then I'll take a little RTV. This is the black. I know it'll be just fine. I use it on valve covers. It holds up to the heat. I usually like the orange. That orange was hard as a brickbat a while ago, so we're gonna go with a little black. I'm just gonna put a small amount of this RTV sealant just before where I marked that crankshaft. And it's gonna be such a small amount, it ain't gonna be funny. I do like to get me a little dabble on there. I'm gonna run around the perimeter of that thing with just what I can wipe off into my finger. What I'm gonna get is a nice little beaded seal. You ain't gotta have a lot. Now keep in mind, I got my RTV over on that crankshaft, but I wanna get this installed. Remember, we set that keyway at 12 o'clock straight up. So let's rotate this keyway to 12 o'clock. I got me a little that gobbledygook up there on that crankshaft. Now, this pump, we need to get a set screw down in that hole down in there. So I've got that ends up being a number 3, a metric number 3. I'm gonna dip it in a little grease, and I'm gonna put that little old rascal on the end of it. Why? Because I've dropped a lot of them, and that don't fall off like that. Let's just get me one little old kiss on it. All I want to do is start this. We done. I'm still gonna hit it with this man glitter. Dab a little of the good stuff on there. It's gonna be locked in there. Hey, an ounce of prevention. Come on, man, what's it gonna hurt? And then just simply line up on your keyway shaft. I'll do this 100 times. Watch me do it on camera. Can't get it on there. Hey, for my mountain hardware, you're gonna need 4 sets. What is that, 5/16? That's 24 per inch. That's what we call fine thread, 24. And let's do the same thing. We like a little bit of that blue Loctite. One little old drop will do you. If one don't get it, 2 ain't gonna help you out in there, another either. Yeah, let's get us a bolt started. That'll at least hold my pump up for me. Yeah, get that little jewel. And you can find it by you got to take a little tension off the pump. You can't let it just hang. You may have to wiggle it a little bit, find you a little sweet spot. Run that down as far as you can with your fingers. Let's grab another one. Let's get one opposing that. Let's just get mirror opposite of this one. See if we can't get something started. Tell it now, come on. We're almost home. What do you think about that? We ain't far from it. We just got a couple of minor steps to take, and we'll have it assembled. We ain't got it ready to run yet. Let's get that last fastener up in there. Woo, she's gonna be a good one. I had to feel around a minute, see if that was where I needed to be. I'm gonna grab me a little 1/2 inch wrench. I'm gonna run around this thing, put a little snug on them. Take a minute, pull those down equally, and Hercules ain't got to be here. It's just good and snug. I think there's just, I don't have a torque spec. I don't know that I've ever asked anyone for one. If you turn it to the point that it gets loose again, do it a little bit less than that. Oh, that's great. You got all your bolts tightened down. And set screw now. We got our bolts tightened up. And look, that is such a tiny little set screw. It's only a 3mm driver. I'm just gonna give it a little love. Oh, won't you just look at her now? Huh? That's a sweet looking little old unit. Come on. And this is usually when you'll get carried away. This is when you start forgetting to do some important stuff. Well, let's cover some of the important stuff. I mean, I see it just staring at me. It's just staring at you too. Do you see what we need to do? I mean, that thing, it's bright. It's standing out. It's telling you something here doesn't belong. This is a shipping cap. And so many times I see new machines, new pumps, they don't swap this out. Make sure you pull out this shipping cap with any new pump like this. I ain't gonna say every new pump. Okay. But this particular pump does have a vented cap. Make sure you replace it. Now, you start running that pump, especially summertime, that thing heats up, you might not never find that plug. And then it'll be a good time to put that cap in. So you have your vented cap in, and then the next thing we've got to do, you remember this hose I was all excited about? I'm proud of these, putting these hose on. I like doing that. It ain't worth flipping because there ain't no oil in it. So let me get some oil in here. I got some oil in there, but I want to show y'all something. You see these things? Yeah, that don't mean nothing. Nothing at all. That's how much oil is supposed to be in them little old motors. To devil with this thing. This ain't no more than a plug, son. All right, let's wrap it up. Hey, if you made it this far, you could have yourself a functioning direct drive pressure washer at this moment. Few simple components, base plate, power source, and a pump. Couple them together and you're in business. All of this equipment varying in size, this being 3,000 PSI at 3 gallons a minute. It has its place in the market. Whereas a lot of guys are running the 5.5, 8, 10 gallons a minute. Different applications, different products, different applications. Guys, I hope you got something out of this little video today. We're gonna put a little something else together next time. I hope you join us in. We'll see y'all. Take care. And I'm gonna go find the fire, son.